and welcome to the Care Alliance. Hi, I'm Michael Fleming. I'm the founder and creator of the uh, Care Alliance. And so the Care Alliance is set up to mobilize entire communities around being able to provide assistance to each other in a way that is unique to the resources that are available in that particular community. And so I'm going to walk you through how the Care Alliance can be shaped and formed into any community. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm based in Atlanta, and so we're working in several cities to launch the Care Alliance. And so I'm going to walk you through the model that has been put together for Memphis, Tennessee. So here's the Care Alliance. All right, so first of all, obviously the logo can be changed out to match any project or city or town or partner. And so there's the versatility of it. But the goal of the Care Alliance is to bring resources close to people where they don't have to go outside of their convenience zone to get the services and things that they need. And so, but ultimately, we want to impact people in every moment of their lives and directly into their household or where they reside. And so, I'm gonna go through some other components here. In Memphis, we have a community partner called Community Rescue Core Services, and it's one of our partners there that is going to be one of the leads for launching the Care Alliance in Memphis. And so I'll share more about them in an additional session. And so here's how this works. So obviously, just as I was saying, there's different logos for the Care Alliance. In each community, there are several different smaller communities inside of the greater Memphis area. And each community will have its own Care Alliance logo, and I'll explain why the logo is so significant. And then there's so one of the communities inside of Memphis is called Frazier, and so there's Frazier, Raleigh, Whitehaven, there's Germantown, there's all the different areas. There's smaller neighborhoods and communities inside the greater Memphis area. And so the way this sets up is you want to address the outline of an entire city, and then you want to break this down into zip codes, and then eventually down to the actual community itself, and then the neighborhoods, and then the actual street, and then directly to the household. It is intended to impact every single person that's in a Care Alliance in kind of zone or area. And so again, this is the actual highway system for Memphis. This is what the initial drawing is that you're looking at here. And again, this can be done obviously for every city, every town, rural or urban. And so Memphis is a tri-state area. Over here to the west is Arkansas. Down here to the south, it's not shown on here, but that's Mississippi. And then, of course, going to the east is going toward Nashville, and going north is going toward Kentucky and Missouri and Illinois. And see, but for the sake of what I'm showing you here, this is the new bridge. Over here is actually the Mississippi River, and there's a new bridge in Memphis that looks like an M that crosses over into Arkansas. And then there's an older bridge that crosses over to Arkansas as well. But this is Memphis's 240 bypass. And so in the process of being able to kind of show here, for the sake of what I'm going to show you here, this is the 240 bypass. And so I took Memphis and divided Memphis into 4 quadrants, and these are some of the small areas, like I said, the smaller communities inside of Memphis itself. And so I took Memphis and made my own little home drawing, and I split Memphis into 4 quadrants. First of all, let me say a little bit more about the Care Alliance in itself. The Care Alliance is intended to mobilize, or what I call the Uberizing of care. And so the goal of the Care Alliance is to actually take advantage of the resources that are already available. And what I mean by the resources is the people, the organizations, the nonprofits, the for-profits, the government agencies, the corporations, and expand their ability to assist without them having to do anything different than what they were doing before. Just like Uber was able to turn your car into a taxi because they built the platform, the Care Alliance is the platform behind how do we serve each other in a particular community. And I'll come back and show you that here in just a second. But I took the outline of Memphis and I split Memphis into 4 quadrants to be able to specifically look at the needs in those particular quadrants. Quadrant 1 is the low to moderate income community. Quadrant 4 is a mixture of progressive, affluent, and LMI communities. Quadrant 3 pretty much is a strong kind of middle class, upper middle class, to more of a kind of very progressive, affluent communities that are out here. And Quadrant 2 has a good mixture of middle class and to affluent communities that are out there. And then, of course, the downtown area is where a lot of industry is. But Memphis is a supply chain city, so there are resources all around circling Memphis in regards to logistics and supply chain companies. But quadrant one, for example, let's say these are the primary needs in that particular community. And so we're going to sort of Care Alliance is intended to address every issue. And I know it sounds bold, but it's a very comprehensive, well thought out strategy and plan to be able to address the needs of any particular community. So as I was saying, we're doing this in Memphis initially, but we have this ready in Birmingham and Atlanta. Got colleagues that are trying to put it together in Dallas and St. Louis and some couple other cities and stuff too. So we're looking to set this up as the equivalent of a franchise where you can actually just kind of start the series inside of your town or inside of your area. Well, in my research, I found that typically in every zip code, there's over 1,500 businesses and nonprofit organizations and churches in every single zip code in the metropolitan area in most of the cities that I've ever studied. And so this is symbolic of all those different entities in a particular community. And obviously a lot of retail stores, churches, schools, grocery stores, hotels, nonprofit organizations, office buildings, medical offices, hospitals, banking. I mean, it's just a snapshot. But those entities already exist. So what if they all work together in one big collaborative spirit? That is the Care Alliance. That's what drives the Care Alliance. The Care Alliance is in the word. How do we care about each other? How do we align for each other? And then how do we have that impact in a specific area? And so I want to show you what that's going to look like. So right now, all those different organizations and entities and businesses and government agencies all kind of work independently in some way. They collaborate when they have to or kind of work together when they have to. But the Care Alliance is getting all of them to participate in every single day. All day, every single day. So right now they're all independent. And then this is why the logo is important. Each one is going to get a logo of the Care Alliance. And so they can display it inside of the building, or they can display it outside of the building. They can display it online, and there will eventually be a Care Alliance software. So the individual who we're trying to help, it could just be a group of people or just a single person or an entire city area. But the goal of the Care Alliance is to bring services directly to the community. And so you can imagine that if they're in the Care Alliance, then what we're asking them to do is we'll show you some unique ways that we're asking them to participate. And the goal is to make this a win-win-win. For everyone. The businesses and the communities and the government agencies win, the nonprofits win, and then the individuals in the community win. And so it's going to bring a highlight to all those who genuinely want to see the improvement of a particular community and a better quality of life for everyone. Okay, so again, they just simply join the Care Alliance. They get the logo. They can display it. That automatically says that they're part of the Care Alliance. Now, what is expected of everyone? So to give you an example, when I was talking about the individual communities, let's take, say, the Fraser area of Memphis, and they are part of the Care Alliance. We've broken the Care Alliance in 3 areas of help and support. It's healthy, wealthy, and wise. So the best example to show how this would work is that let's take a local church in that area. Just about every church has health professionals in it: nurses, doctors, physician's assistants, dentists, maybe personal coaching, fitness, and mental health. Most churches have professionals that are in that church that do all those things. So they themselves would be part of the Care Alliance through that church. Most churches are commuter churches, which means everyone commutes in on Sunday. The majority of people commute on Sunday, and then they leave back out, or they commute in on some other day of the week, if that, and just kind of commute to church and commute out. But they're not a community church, which means it doesn't really interact with the community at all. The Care Alliance assists the churches in being more of a community-based church, and they don't have to do anything different. The skill sets are already there. And then the wealth is normally banking, finance, investments, real estate, just about anything that business development, economic development as a whole, contracting, all those different things that also exist in the church. And then the wise is the wisdom part, as educators. You have people, that do life coaching, training, just anyone that's about trying to help people advance or improve themselves. And even here, the mental health professionals can reside as well. So we have the healthy, wealthy, and wise. And this will be significant as we go through the process, and I'll show you this as well. So the goal is that how do you tag all these resources? Again, we're the Uberizing the care. these people already have the skill set. They're already experts or pretty good at what they do. And so the idea is just having them identify themselves with it. So the organization, the city would have a Care Alliance, the organizations would have a Care Alliance, the church would have a Care Alliance logo, individuals could have a Care Alliance logo that they can put on their car. And so the rest is how do you kind of bring these components together. And so again, eventually over the greater Memphis area altogether, there would be a Care Alliance. So it's the Care Alliance community and care system. How do we care for each other? And so this is how we're asking each organization to participate. One of the first ways, the easiest ways, is that they can put a kiosk or stand inside of their facility, their business. And so in the process of putting a kiosk or stand in there, all the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise materials will go in here. And the way that we make this profitable, and that's the entire thing too, is the Care Alliance is intended to be a self-sustainable system. It won't have to go outside of itself in most cases to kind of sustain itself, because it's built on a business platform. In other words, if we provide a value, there's a value exchange, and it kind of sustains itself. So the reason I'm saying it, because nonprofits and churches we can see going inside the kiosks and stands for free if they're advertising or they're marketing their programs and initiatives. But if they're doing fundraising, we'll charge them to actually be in the kiosks and stands. For-profit businesses will charge them to be in the kiosks and stands as well as a marketing stand. And then what that would do is that allow us to generate revenue inside of the Care Alliance. And so materials, so people who are living in that community, if they see a Care Alliance logo on outside of that building, they can go in and get resources and content and materials to help them actually find solutions or resources or opportunities to different aspects of their life. And so I want to go next is these is what additional kiosks and stands would look like if someone doesn't want to put the big standing stands up. These can be the ones that can be put on the wall. Obviously you can see these table displays, and then this eventually will be the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise, and we're looking to have corporate sponsors. So this is just an example, having Wells Fargo on there, but we're looking to have multiple corporate sponsors, and then obviously have a healthy, wealthy, and wise community. And so here, we're not just having a marketing piece. We want to do direct engagement, and these are samples of what our existing programs and services are if we go into a community that doesn't already have them. And so we have a Vision Quest. It's a life mapping exercise where we can map out your whole life in less than an hour. Very unique, very special workshop, because this allows us not to tell people what to do, but instead to let them tell us how to help. And so Vision Quest, once they do the initial the life mapping, they get a 1-year life plan, and then it's integrated into life coaching that comes from some of those other services. And then we now have a career development program that helps people kind of think about how to advance their career if they're not really looking to be an entrepreneur. But this can be used as an entrepreneurship program as well. We call it the Junior Executive Program. And so it's just getting people to think about that there are no dead-end jobs, because there are no dead-end industries. And then so they just have to, so there's a whole set of tools and programs and workshops and classes that go behind each one of these. STAGE is a skills building program. It literally stands for skills, talents, abilities, gifts, and effort. And so the goal of the STAGE program is to help people think about how to advance their life in some particular way, that they pursue maybe some particular skill, talent, ability, gift, or just put in an immense amount of effort into advancing the quality of their life. RESET is more about getting resources. It literally stands for resources, education, support, empowerment, and training. And so again, it's this: once you've gotten a skill set or you're thinking about your career, you've got to have that lineup of resources that kind of helps you maintain that. There are over 40 million people in the country who need their GED. So this is the GED and Life Skills Program. It's a general education diploma. So to help people go back to school to start getting some more additional skills training. So we wanted to address the needs. The Care Alliance does not shy away from the issues of a community. That is the other thing about it too. We are intending on going in and looking at the absolute needs of that particular community. And then the FAST program is a financial literacy program. Again, we're going to address all the needs of improving your credit and and expanding your savings and your emergency funds and building wealth and all those things are looked at. The AMBER program is the girls and women's mentoring program. and I mean coaching, life coaching program. So it's gonna that's again, this is just our version of it. We're not gonna try to do everything ourselves. We're counting on that we're gonna meet other people that are gonna have interest in working their programs and services, and we're gonna highlight those programs and services. And this is just intended to be an enhancement. The King program is a boys and men's mentoring program. So we're exploring that, and mentoring and coaching, life coaching program. And then we're going to set up what we call the care councils. The care councils are our recommendations to a community to do a weekly, or well, not necessarily weekly, but a monthly and quarterly or annually, where all the organizations and people in the Care Alliance will get together and actually and share best practices with each other. So we'll take you there. And so this is just a quick snapshot of workbooks and materials that we have that are going to be in the classes and workshops as well. Now, I want to show you, this is something very special that's on the screen that I call the Care Box. For years, I personally taught GED, life skills classes, work readiness classes. We did all kind of levels of community development. We did, mental health classes and worked with a lot of different professionals over the years. And what I've learned is that you really truly can't make a difference with anyone unless you're willing to sit across the table from them. And so the Care Box that you're seeing on the screen was that goal. It's to how do we get to the table, the coffee table? How do we sit down? How do we actually be in the household with someone and still try to have impact? And yet, and at some point, we'll try to have classes and workshops that are less than a mile from where someone lives, so that way we coming into their convenience zone. I mean, their comfort zone as well. So, but the Care Box is exactly that. I want to be able to send out care boxes to everyone in a Care Alliance radius, in a Care Alliance community. And so this is a snapshot of what that care box will look like. And it's going to be either zip code specific, neighborhood specific, or community specific. Every care box will not be the same because it's intended for you to find and access resources and opportunities right there in your community, so you don't have to drive all over town to get help and support. So obviously I'm going to show you some variations of how the care box works. The care box is set up to tell the entire story of how the Care Alliance work. There's 4 levels of help and support. I know it's kind of hard to see on there, but it's called Pinnacle, Triumph, Summit, and Endeavor. And so the Endeavor is the first level, first tier of support. The endeavoring is that the person is, and let's say it's in a crisis, and the goal is that the Care Alliance will collectively mobilize, help that person in crisis within the first 15 to 30 days, whether they put themselves in it or not. But the goal is to keep them from going into being destructive or trying or just have the person going to desperation, because you want to stabilize their life and then give them a chance to see if they will come to the summit level. And that's where the person kind of is trying not to be a hindrance to themselves and trying to make the most of their day and their life, and they're living probably week to week, day to day, week to week, month to month. Obviously that's not a good way to sustain our lives and to grow. Triumph is that level. In the Triumph level, we're trying to get you so that you're not caught up in the day-to-day, and so that you're able to go back to school, save money, you're able to maybe work on some projects, start your own business. Triumph is the most basic true goal for each person, is that what we want to have. But the ideal goal is to get everyone to Pinnacle. In the Pinnacle, you're advancing all areas of your life, and that you're strong enough to even come back and contribute to the Care Alliance. And again, this will be the community specific box, and it'll be sponsored by corporations, and there's content and materials inside the box. And so there's content about programs, services that are local to that particular community or across that particular area. And then also keep in mind there's going to be a Care Alliance app, so you'll be able to access those services as well. But on the back side of the box, you can't see it here, but there's a map of that particular community, and it's going to show where partners and people are that you can access. And then here on the side is the reminder of the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise services and the Care Council. And then from here, these are just snapshots of different views of the box. This is an example of what the cover of the box would look like. We have an initiative called the Good Ground Initiative to help churches grow and expand their evangelism and services. And then as you see here, Community Rescue Services is one of our partners in Memphis, and then we looking to partner with Wells Fargo as well. But we always want to deal with personal care, business care, investments, housing, wealth, and community affairs. And then kind of like a mantra of ours is improving the development quality of life for families, community schools, faith organizations, and businesses. And then of course government agencies, corporations, and industry. And then but the CARE Alliance itself is a community alliance. How do we build and work together collaboratively? And then we're looking to have a property management group inside of each community, so to make sure that quality of life is sustained, and that we can help people go from renting to being a home ownership. And we'll show you here too. We're going to have a strong financial solutions focus, helping people look at again just how to be able to sustain their growth and wealth. And so these again are snapshots of what the covers of the boxes could look like. And then from renter to homeowner, because there's so much involved with partnering with the real estate industry as home. So I know there seems to be a lot of moving pieces to this, and but the goal is of the CARE Alliance is simply to mobilize people who share a spirit of wanting to see see the quality of life be improved for everyone. And so the CARE Alliance is our way of trying to solve that particular problem. We're even going to have different financial clubs and trying to encourage people to kind of mobilize together in their particular communities in ways that they probably hadn't thought of before. And so I want to thank you for taking the time to kind of look at this and where we're headed, and definitely want suggestions and feedback, and to let us know. I know it seems like a pretty big vision, but over the years we've got a strong group of partners and teams and just colleagues and professionals and experts that are ready to launch this and be part of it in their particular way with their particular strengths. Oh, by the way, too, this is what I call the coffee table books. And so at some point we want to be able to put a book on a coffee table book in everyone's home that kind of keeps them encouraged to work their plan. And these are headings of other workbooks and classes and workshops. So the system is literally very comprehensive, but it's fully ready to launch. There exist already software and apps and tools and things that we already have, and so we're definitely looking to start this in 2020 in a variety of cities. Both Birmingham, Memphis, and Atlanta are all ready to go. This is our federal government contracting classes and workshops. These are samples of thumbnails of classes and workshops that I can go on. And then business development, there's just a wide array of tools and things that are built into the system. So again, I want to thank you for taking this time. Please don't hesitate to call, email, text me. I'm Michael Fleming. I'm definitely not working alone. There's an outstanding team that is helping and working with this on a daily basis. And so you can call or text me or email me, preferably text me. That's the fastest way to get me. Area code 678-508-6283, or you can email me at michaelafleming@hotmail.com. That's one M, no S in Fleming. Take care, and wishing you the best. Thank you.